Can you just walk off high blood sugar? Well, it seems a little bit too good to be true, but the fact is, there's some really compelling research behind this. And whether you're somebody who has insulin resistance or just trying to lose some weight, this information you want to pay attention to. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Nick Zarowski, and welcome to the channel. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you want to make sure you hit that notification bell so that you're alerted when all brand new videos come out. And then also check out all my natural health videos at www.drz.tv. Now, for those with type 2 diabetes, sitting can cause serious problems with your blood sugar levels. Now, we've heard for years that, well, sitting is the new smoking, and the fact is there's a lot of truth to that. Now, let's dive into the article right here. Diabetics can use lifestyle changes such as a diet and exercise and medications such as metformin or gliptin to lower blood sugar levels, yet following recommended diets and taking diabetes medications aren't always effective at controlling blood sugar, right? You see so many people, they're taking their medication and they're following their diet, but yet they're just not getting that blood sugar under control. This is what the research has found. This shows us that there's a need to rethink diabetes care and management. Well, there's an enormous need to rethink this. First of all, when we think and rethink, let's say, this problem with diabetes care and management, one of the things we have to realize is that in 1980, there was 108 million people with type 2 diabetes, and now there's 422 million people, and that was in 2014. And due to just the lockdowns and everything that has occurred over the past couple of years, it's estimated that this number is far beyond the 422 million that we saw back in 2014. So we have to really rethink this, okay? Because the problem isn't just how do we solve the problem after it's a problem, but the real question is how do we prevent the problem, okay? And this is a big difference between how somebody thinks in the medical world versus the natural and preventative world. The medical world is always saying, how do we treat the problem? And the preventative world always says, how do we prevent the issue? How do we make lifestyle changes? And this is something that's very important to understand. Now, as we go ahead and move down in this article, they say the research we've done looked at 37 adults with type 2 diabetes, and they found that over a period of 2 weeks, prolonged sitting was associated with high blood sugar levels. But we also found that when people stood up or walked around between periods of sitting, they had lower blood sugar levels, and other studies have also produced similar results. Our research has also shown that sitting less or breaking up periods of sitting with bouts of activity could be a simple way to manage your blood sugar levels. This isn't that complicated, folks, and that's why when we think of insulin resistance and diabetes type 2 management, we tend to think of things that are very complex and complicated. We don't have to make this too complicated. Now, they go on to say, including high sugar levels before and after breakfast, which is a common problem for people with type 2 diabetes. Simply walking more often could help with blood sugar control throughout the day. And by the way, if you have type 2 diabetes and you're following a lot of these different diets that they put out there, they're garbage, okay? You need to be following a ketogenic-like diet. It's the most important thing that you can do is cut out all the sugar, right? Not play the game where, oh, I can have a little bit of bagel and cereal, but not too much, right? No, you should be following a ketogenic-style diet, no sugar. And the other thing is that in most cases, you're going to do better without breakfast, meaning that consider intermittent fasting because that's going to offer profound benefits. In fact, when someone has insulin resistance, they almost have to. It's almost required for them to intermittent fast, for them to really make that insulin in that cell mechanism in the metabolism responsive to move that blood sugar appropriately. So we have to really think about all of that. Now, they go on to say, in fact, walking every 15 minutes for as little as 3 minutes each time at a person's usual pace could be enough to help them control their blood sugar and could even be as effective as standard diabetes medication. That's insane, right? Because we see from many of the big healthcare organizations and doctors out there that they just say, well, yeah, you got to be on the medication to control it. But they don't talk about, well, actually, if you get up and move and you do these things and you look to these natural resources, you could actually control this just fine. Now, I will say, and I will preface this, that a huge challenge, and I face this every day in my clinical practice, a huge challenge for any doctor is most people do not follow direction. Most people do not follow advice, and you can talk to them till you're blue in the face and they still don't care. But there are a good amount of people out there, actually I'd say an enormous amount of people who do truly care and would do the correct natural things if their doctor actually told them what to do and had a good conversation about it. They go on to say, other research has shown that keeping bouts of sitting shorter than 15 minutes is better for blood sugar levels, okay? And you could even do things like if you work at a desk, get a standing desk, okay? And you can kind of move around a little bit and get up throughout the day. If you're working a desk job, go for a walk. I mean, there's so many things that are really important to do. Walking and other exercise is so good for regulating blood sugar because movement causes muscles to contract, which subsequently starts the mechanism that allows the sugar in the blood to enter the cell and fuel the body, right? So you need this blood sugar if you are moving, if you are doing any activity. So therefore, do the very thing that will lower it. Do the thing that requires that sugar for energy, and that is move. With many people continuing to spend large portions of their day sitting while working from home, it's important for people with type 2 diabetes to stand and walk often. Even small changes in sitting patterns throughout the day may improve a person's blood sugar control. For example, going to the kitchen to get water and make a cup of tea could be a great opportunity to walk around for a few minutes. Even standing or walking while taking calls or during meetings can be a good idea. Now, I'll tell you, I don't think that getting up to walk up and get a cup of tea or something like that's going to change your life in any way. I do think that if you're on calls and you have a headset on or whatever, Bluetooth, I think that's a great way to go and get some walking. And in fact, I do it myself. I'll just go walk on my treadmill while I'm on the phone. Now, the other thing that we have to consider here, and this is actually part of my protocols when working with people with insulin resistance, especially severe insulin resistance, is that you can actually go and split up little mini workouts, little micro workouts throughout your day that can really help keep your blood sugar down. So for instance, let's say you wake up in the morning, and upon waking up, one of the things that you can do is you can go and do a 5-minute high intensity workout. And when I say high intensity, that's intense for whatever level of fitness you're at, okay? So that means you can just go and do some squats, some air squats, you can go and run in place, you can do some jumping jacks, you basically just can get moving, okay? And with that movement, and you make it high intensity, it forces the body to look for that blood sugar very quickly for energy. Your body with high intensity movement patterns requires quick energy. It has to go to that blood sugar floating around. So that's one thing you can do. After your meals, you do the same thing. And when you're talking about a quick 3 to 5 minute little exercise, you're not going to break out in some huge sweat. It's not going to make you have to go put on your exercise equipment. You just get up and do it. So if you ate lunch and then you did, let's just keep it simple. Let's say you did air squats for 2 minutes and you did jumping jacks for 2 minutes. You alone with those exercises, doing them at a high pace, a high intensity pace, alone with those exercises, you will drastically bring down your blood sugar. And so that's something to think about. But don't forget that even though this exercise is good and we should be exercising because it's absolutely required by our genetics to thrive and be healthy, one of the other things we have to do is watch our diet. Many diabetics do not watch their diet at all. I have patients who have these blood glucose monitoring patches right on their arm, and it tells them instantaneously what their blood sugar is, and it's very cool actually. But in many cases, their doctors aren't giving them diets that are no sugar, or they're not giving them sugar-free diets. They're just telling them, okay, try to change your diet, eat a little healthier, but yet they're eating foods that break down, carbohydrate-rich foods that are breaking down into sugar in the bloodstream, causing them a lot of problems. So we have to clean up our diet, following a moderate keto diet or just ketogenic diet in general is a great way to go about it, as I mentioned. Now, the other thing that we have to take very seriously when we look at these different problems is that there's natural nutrients that the earth has given us that works incredibly well at bringing down blood sugar. You can use things like berberine. You can also use things like fenugreek seed. There's so many things that you can do. And I'll put links in the description below to some resources for this, because we have blood sugar packs that we have people use all the time, and these blood sugar packs just have a bunch of natural good quality nutrients in it that actually have been shown to bring down blood sugar more effectively than many of the leading medications out there, which is wild that you don't hear about them. It literally is bewildering to me. You know, when you're kind of that naive newbie into the healthcare world and you walk around and you think that everybody out there is trying to just solve healthcare problems and for individuals across the world and do it effectively and do it in the best way possible for the individual without side effects. And then you learn that there's all this natural nutrition that you can do, but yet the most popular thing pushed is medication. You literally start going, wow, this is unbelievable. How could this be? You know, but the reality is that's the world we live in. So we want to look to exercise. We want to look to proper diet, and we also want to look for these nutritional components, these vitamins and minerals that the earth has given us and allows us to bring down our blood sugar very effectively. Now understand too, you have to be willing to put in the effort. A doctor can only take you so far. I tell my patients, look, it's my job to educate you. It's your job to go in and do the rest. I will give you every opportunity to change your life naturally, but you have to be willing to put in the effort. So if you can, you know, do some self-evaluation and you realize that, yeah, it's me not willing to be disciplined with my diet, it's me not willing to put that effort in to get up and exercise. And if you choose to go to the medication route, of course, you're more than welcome to do that. You know, it's your life, it's your health, it's your body. You make those choices for it. But I would say that the opportunity for living a life far better than you imagined, where you reverse all of these health problems and truly have great health, is right there at your fingertips if you're willing to put in that effort. So I encourage you to do that. And I also encourage you to check out all my other videos that are going to help you improve your health naturally. Until next time, make it a great day.